Hello everyone, welcome to the Jargus Ranger Review. This week we'll be looking at the 9th episode of Super Mega Force, Power of 6. That's right, the hiatus is finally over after, what was it, 5-6 months? Almost half the year. I really don't get why they do these mid-season breaks. I mean, if you don't have that much content, then just make more. Or spread out over every other week instead of months apart. Much less annoying that way. Anyway, for a quick recap for anyone who has forgotten over the months, we last left off with a Silver Ranger showing up, who was actually an alien that the Armada destroyed his homeworld, and he's been training on his own to take him out. And our girl Rangers seem to be kinda fond of him. And that's where we start today, because this one begins with him dancing in the school at night with a mop. I am completely serious. What he's doing there and why is never explained. It's just completely random. Kinda funny though. Still, what the hell? Why? And while this is happening, Vekar is there and he's calling himself a genius for the new monster he's recruited called Skeletox, who says he saps human energy. So he's being his usual idiot stuff about it when we see our new intro. It's mostly the same except we get some glimpses of the Silver Ranger in action. Man, does it feel good to see that theme song again. It's still really good. When the episode resumes, he awakes inside of a locker and pushes his way out of it, only to proceed to brush his teeth in a water fountain. Don't you know how dirty those things get, Orion? You really are new to this planet. But then it's morning and school is actually starting, and he meets Sarah, Yellow and Pink, Emma and Gia in the hallway. And they're like, what are you doing here? And besides, just going to mommy for class. And he's like, oh, I've been here quite a while. And he bumps into the wall and leaves. They think he's funny, but our other Rangers, they just look at him like he's some kind of weirdo. And I have to agree with him, he's being a bit of a weirdo. So he goes straight to Ernie's and gives him a coffee, so they can get started with the day. They're making him seem like a jackass by being so damn perfect and quirky. But at least he's enjoying himself now, unlike being super serious like before, when we got introduced to him. But in more serious business, they go to the command center, and Gosei gives him a belt that lets him use the keys for all the 6 Rangers that have joined over the years. But before the Rangers can marvel on that, they get the alarm because Skeletox has begun his little attack. And when he saps their human's energy, they all get put to sleep. And the Rangers go to hunt him down in teams of 2, with Orion being paired with Jake, who Troy says to be his mentor for the day. So of course it's those two that end up finding him and having to fight. But when Jake fights, he first goes into his Mega Force suit for no reason, because he uses it for like 5 seconds when Orion morphs, and then he goes straight to his Super Mega Force. Why are you still using the Mega Force suits? You don't need them. You have more greater power that you can access in an instant. Use it! So when they chase him down and confront him, they have to fight some more X-Borgs. Only for Jake to trip and he has to fend for himself a bit. Only for Jake to trip and he has to fend for himself for a bit. Until Orion saves his dumbass. And he's kind of annoyed that he had to be saved by Mr. Perfect. That's me trying to emulate his tone. Hope I did it well enough. So when the whole team fights, they use the RPM Rangers. Except for Orion, because he tried to use the 6 keys, but it has both a gold and silver, and he can't decide. So somehow the keys fuse into one, and it becomes an RPM gold and silver Ranger. After a minute, it does look pretty cool. It has like this Kamen Rider double thing going with it, and I like that. So while they're fighting, the Rangers get drained, and Emily blocks a hit that was meant for Jake, leaving only him and Orion while Skeletox gets away with their energy. So Jake's all pissed and upset off, and they're near a beach, I think, because they are. And you see him going alone because he's kind of jealous of Orion, but Orion is like, just come on, we're a team, we do this together. And you're my mentor after all. Apparently that's all he needs to snap out of it and for him to go after them. So when they find him again, Jake tries to fight him, but this time he uses one of the older Sentais for suits. I believe it was a Flashman, but I haven't seen any of the 80s Sentai myself, so I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure it was. And Orion, trying to deal with having all the 6 Rangers keys, doesn't know who to pick. So Ghosty tells him to combine all their power into one, and it becomes a golden shield that appears to him, with like the pins of all the 6 Ranger helmets on it. It makes him super mega gold. Yeah, so basically Silver Ranger in gold mode. And his spear becomes longer and looks more like an anchor. And it looks pretty damn cool, I gotta say. So first thing he does is he just hits him with a spear, completely overpowering our monster. Because that's what always happens when we get a new Ranger form. It completely dominates. And then he finishes him off with a legendary finish strike, which basically shows the images of all the 6 Rangers doing their special attacks, and then him coming up and slashing with the spear to finish him. And after that he reverts to his regular Silver, looking a bit exhausted from that display of power. And because he was defeated, all the humans go back to normal, including Ernie, who went to sleep inside of his own shop. Yeah, that'd be good for the customers, won't it? But of course that's not over, because Levira has to make it big. And that's when all the regular Megaforce Rangers come back to start fighting it. But Orion takes it out with his Q-Rex Megazord. I still don't get how he has a Q-Rex. It looks nothing like it. It looks more blue than anything. And with its drill, it looks more like something from Operation Overdrive. And it's been months, so I can't remember if he uses its Super Mega Finish Strike, which is how he finishes it off, which is basically attacks with the drills of all 3 forms of his Zord and destroys him for good. Now that I really like. It gives me a good Gurren Lagann vibe, which I need to watch again sometime soon. So in all the aftermath, he wakes up Ernie when the shop is closing. And Ernie just says, "Huh, that was a good day," and he goes back to sleep. So overall, this was a decent episode. The action was good and the new powers for the Silver Ranger were really looking cool. But the internal conflict was just really petty and it was fixed in like 2 lines. Could have been better, but it was still fun to watch. Plus we get a glimpse of Orion when he's not looking super serious about everything. And he's already part of the team, it seems. Really, I'm just glad we're getting back into the groove of having Power Rangers again. This is one of the lower end of the Super Megaforce season so far, which isn't bad considering it's been a pretty damn good season, even though it's already halfway done. So now finally I'll see you next week for a new episode that won't be months apart for once. Till then, I'm Jargus here and thanks for watching. Let the power protect you.